today.
And today we are interviewing Coach Gentry and Scarlett about the new girls flag football team. So
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on to the show. It's very much appreciated. How are you guys doing today?
Good, trying to stay warm.
Yeah. hard task in this 103-degree weather. I know.
No, outside you literally can't breathe.
Yeah, it's
so hot.
Brutal Southern California weather. But should we just get right to the questions?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start off with, I guess, a question for both of you guys. What drew you guys towards the sport of football in the first place?
Well, for me, football has been a part of my life since a long time ago. I started playing tackle football when I was 12. Played flag football starting when I was like 9, 10 years old. So I've always absorbed the game, been around the game. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I was actually got to go watch Emmitt Smith's and the Troy Aikman's play, and I actually got to watch some of the games in their one of their playoff runs. I can't remember which one. I was a young kid, but I was always attached to football. My dad's always do it, and then also my grandma. My grandma loved football. So me growing up and then going down to grandma's house watching the game, it was always football on. She always talked football. So it just became a thing that was adapted to me. So again, I started playing, so it just became a way of life for me.
For me, it's like kind of more of a lame story. I was in 3rd grade, and a bunch of my guy classmates wanted to play football. And I think it's when my friends weren't there that day. I was like, sure, why not? And I joined in, and I actually wasn't all that bad. So they taught me like everything I know with football. So I gotta thank my 3rd grade classmates, and I would play every single day for every single recess.
Yeah. So are there any like specific highlights in your playing career or coaching career?
I mean, I played football at the SEC level. I actually went to the University of Arkansas, played a couple games. When I tell people, because everybody's like, oh my God, did you do all this and do all that? I mean, I kind of did it. The transfer rules now for students are way easier to transfer than when I was in school. So I lost like 20-some hours when I transferred, and then I became all these percentage rules. So I had to really fight to get on the field. So it became a point where I actually got play time, but it actually just became a point where it was like, it got focused on education, because it was like one of those things that me and Mom talked about. So. To say that, my highlight was just being able to flex my muscle a little bit in SEC football. Like, I actually walked onto the football team, and by the beginning of the season, through one off season, I was in the starting rotation, and I just kind of said a lot about like my work ethic, things that I can do. You know, a lot of people won't think like, oh, SEC, you walking in, nobody knows you, you're just gonna, and that's kind of how the way I did it. Like, but it all got motivated because of the school I went to there before. I've been in the world of football, so it becomes where if you're not on scholarship, they don't really focus on you as much as everybody else, and I had to kind of like make my way through college and stuff like that. So you learn to be more appreciative when you really like fight harder to get access to stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my highlight.
And obviously, Scarlett, you have a little bit of experience with football too. So are there some moments that have really stood out to you from the time you played?
For me, I think it was, we were doing one game, and I actually got to play on the field in the position I wanted to, and I was super nervous. I didn't, like, the ball wasn't past me, but even though we were still playing, I tried my best to just stand out, and I think I did that. The opposite team was very surprised that a female was playing with the guys, so that was probably a good highlight for me.
And, like, going with that, you know, obviously there's not that many females playing tackle football like you did. How hard of an adjustment is that to make when you're in an all-guy, system?
For me, it wasn't too bad. I've always been around guys. I always like play all the types of sports, so it wasn't too bad of an adjustment like from female sports to guy sports, and I've never played on a football team besides just recess. So it wasn't too bad. It was a little, no offense to the guys on the team. Me too. We did not all smell great, so it was a little tough. But besides that, I felt like it was not too bad. I actually had a lot of fun playing. It was really fun experience.
Well, you can't avoid smelling where you go.
Yeah, those bus rides home from away games. Yeah, that's an experience that you're gonna you'll never forget.
The smell,
one reason or another.
the
Yeah.
sweat. Ooh.
Yeah. But so both of you guys have played tackle football, obviously at different levels, but how does the translation come from tackle football to flag football, both at the coaching level and at the playing level?
What's the difference?
So from the coaching level, I think it's more, I mean, you know, of course you can't tackle and flag, but I think bringing over that tackle football mentality into the flag level makes it easier for you to kind of absorb the sport more. Because to me, it's easier to tell someone, hey, don't do that as much. Whereas, hey, I need you to get more aggressive, and they're like, to what extent? And what can, whereas somebody that's already played tackle, they understand getting your hands on, being a little physical. So it's more or less telling them, hey, got to back it down a little bit more. It's flag football. You can't really grab and do the things like we can in tackle like that. From my standpoint, and then we also talk about the spin.
Yes. That was a total surprise. So from tackle football, I knew that. I knew the rules. Like, it was easy. I was like, all right, this is going to be great. Like, I already know everything. Like, this is going to be easy. And then I go into practice, and I'm, like, learning all these new rules. Like, the field is shorter. We can't do, like, when you have the ball, you can't spin with it. And I was like, this is crazy. How are you even supposed to do anything? But it honestly, like, now knowing the rules, it's not too much of a change. We can still be physical, that I just learned like a few days ago. We can still jab, which was a total surprise to me, so I'm really excited for that. But the change wasn't too drastic as I thought it was going to be. It just takes a little bit of like forgetting the old game and now learning the new one.
Yeah. Because with the flag football, it becomes a lot more of a safety thing because, you know, you don't have as much equipment on it.
Yeah.
So the spinning is a thing, no diving because you get kicked in the chin. So there's a little minor rule changes that in the big game of football, it's like a big thing. Whereas when you bring it down to the tackle level, you're like, what? They got flags on. That should be one of the number one things we can do is spin. But again, it becomes another safety concern for the CIF. So the rules, I mean, the rules are there. I won't say the rules are changing the way we have to play on the field. It's just sometimes we have to kind of finesse it a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Sorry.
so why'd you choose to coach tackle? I mean, why'd you choose to coach flag over tackle? My bad.
So the funny thing about that is I coach tackle too.
Oh.
So I'm actually the varsity linebacker coach. But honestly, flag for me it wasn't even about flag and tackle. It was like, oh, this is the first season of flag football that should have been happening like 20 years ago. So I was all on board. Like, and my wife, she's a big supporter of, like, she grew up in Claremont. She went to Claremont High 20 years ago. So she's a big supporter of it. So when we started hearing about it, they're looking for coaches, I kind of put myself out there, but I was like, all right, I'm coaching the varsity football team. I don't want to put too much emphasis to it because I don't know how much time I will have with the varsity side. But we started talking more and more, and then it became a conversation of maybe we should try to get a coach that's with the team already or with some affiliation to the team because with all these schedule changes and things that are going on, you got a coach that's in-house and they can talk face-to-face and we ain't got to keep sending emails and messages like, hey, do you got a field, do you don't have the field? So it's kind of, we're building this camaraderie and the head coach for the varsity team, he knows I'm the coach. So now we're having conversations like, hey coach, I'm going to be done by 4:30. So if you need, 5:30. So if you need to schedule practices, go ahead and do whatever you need to do. So it becomes a sense of there's no more middleman. So that's another reason why I was like, okay, well maybe I can do this. And again, football is just in my blood. Whether it's tackle, flag, and flag is an aggressive sport. Everybody thinks flag and they're just like, just flag football, no big deal. Flag is very competitive. Like, and you know, it may not be big hits, but there's a lot of slicing and dicing of route running and catching over people. And like we like to call it you're mossing people, where you're catching balls over people and somebody really thought they had it. So there's other bits of excitement to flag football, and I love the game. So I know some of the girls on campus I've coached in softball because I coach outside of football, and I've seen the speed, I've seen the quickness. So I know Claremont has quite a bit of girls that has speed and quickness. And again, I didn't know who was coming to try out. But with the knowledge that I already kind of had about some of the girls, I was already kind of like, no, I think I want to do this. Like, we got some talent over there.
Yeah, we have some really good female athletes.
Yes.
Shout out like the track and cross country
Yes.
teams. Those guys.
Soccer girls too.
Yeah, soccer team too. Those guys are really good soccer player as well.
Aren't you like a full-time athlete?
Yeah, I was going to play something in like do track, but I was like, I can't. It's just track is just too competitive for me, and it's just like, oh, these people are fast. Like even on our team, we got track girls. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm beating any of y'all.
But I've heard you played basketball in middle school.
Yes, I did basketball for a little bit. I was gonna do it in Claremont, but it interfered with the soccer season, so I had to pick one or the other. And my dad really, really enjoys me playing soccer, so I was like, you know what? I did it for my mom for basketball, so now I'll do it for my dad for soccer.
Yeah,
That's great.
and does that help you like adjust to a new sport faster when you already have your hands in so many different?
Yeah, for
areas?
sure, definitely. Being able to like know sports, I know a bunch of sports, so being able to have that knowledge, I can adjust to most sports easily. Although like tennis, and stuff, like golf, no, I gotta step away from those. More physical, I can definitely do for sure. Like rugby, if that was ever a chance here, I can definitely try that out.
What about swim?
You gotta get back to me on that.
It's a little tricky with swim.
Yeah. Yeah, swim, man.
It's like full-on
they go,
endurance.
yeah, they go hard over there.
Yeah.
But so both of you guys are part of a brand new like program. I know you mentioned it a little earlier. Like, there's nothing to base it off of.
No.
There's no prior coaching. Does that make it a lot harder? Does it make it kind of more intriguing and more like we can like shape our own program?
It just gives me a little nervous. Makes me a little nervous just because, nobody wants to have an over season. Nobody wants to have a bad season. So you have all these little hidden things in the back of your mind. But, I just keep my faith, know what I have and know what I've learned and absorbed through my years of what I've done. And I just stay focused. So I look forward and say, I got a lot of talent. I got a lot of girls. We're all motivated to play. So I just look at the bright side and the positive side of things. Like, we're 0-0. So whether we win or lose, the only way we can go is up because this program hasn't been down to start with. This is a brand new program. So no matter what we do, is an upward climb.
Yeah. What are some things that you've seen in your team so far? Like any person standing out or?
There's a couple of persons standing out. There's several of them. What I've really noticed about my team is the sense of love for the game. Like those girls out there really love to play football. And they want to learn the game. Every time we in practice, everybody's like, really? It's already that time? And I get it. We practice for like an hour 15. I try to squeeze in an hour and a half, but a lot of these ladies have a lot of previous obligations. Some of them are still playing travel soccer, so they're having to leave practice and stuff like that. So, but I do have quite a bit of standouts, and it's just a team camaraderie. Like they really want to be a team. Like you don't really see girls in buckets. The only time you see them in groups is because I got them grouped up in sevens to rotate.
Yeah.
But anytime I got them in a hole, standing on the sideline, you can see the conversation happening. They're doing that and that and that. Oh, that's their formation. They're about to run that play. And so you see the sense of wanting to learn, wanting to play the game, wanting to absorb the game because, like I told them, there's only 7 people on the field, so everybody can't play. So, and they're starting to understand, like, every week, every day is a sense of competition. Just because you have the job today doesn't mean you will have the job tomorrow or next week. So, every day of practice, every week presents some sense of competition that they like it.
And Scarlett, I'll ask you one specific question. So you're one of the few players on the team with that high school football experience,
Yes.
even at the JV level. Do you feel like you have to step in kind of to a leadership spot in the team, or do you feel like everybody has kind of risen to that occasion?
Yeah, good question. There's obviously some girls that are not as familiar as others, or just some aren't as athletic as others. But the girls, since they've known I have previous experience, they usually come to me, and I have a few that always come to me like, what do we do here? How do I do this? Or it's a new position, and they have like no idea. They're like, oh, coach just threw me in here. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, all right, let me tell you the best I can. And they usually come back to me. They're like, you just saved me. Like, thank you so much. I'm like, honestly, do not even worry. Like, the more questions you ask me, the better my education of the game goes, and I just learn more from helping others. So. Yeah, a leadership position, I would say like, oh yeah, like come to me for everything. But I feel grateful that the girls feel comfortable with me and feel like they can speak to me about certain questions. So.
On both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Like she understands offense and defense. So I have a couple players like Scarlett, which is very helpful to have on the team, especially in the inaugural season because half the girls know what's going on, half of them kind of know what's going on. Then you got another 20 that don't really know what's going on. So when you got people like Scarlett and that type of mentality to kind of teach them on the side while I'm also teaching the big picture, they can ask her a little sub question to her, like, well, when he says that, what is he? Oh, he just means that we're covered 3. There's 3 people back deep. That's all he means by that. And they, you know, something I take is real simple. It may not be the simplest thing to the ladies on the team. So that's the kind of the gray area that I gotta kind of grasp. Like sometimes I talk a little bit too deep into something, I have to kind of scale it back. Yeah. So it's tricky, but like I said, it's good to have ladies like her on the team.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you playing both positions when we played together. That was fun. Yeah. I remember when I was on the sideline. I think I was hurt or something, and I remember this dude was running a route. And like he went over the ball and then boom, laid the hammer on that.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
I was trying to like taunt him because we were like past the 25, so the team can't go.
Giving me memories. That was like that was one of my favorite parts. Yeah.
You just got hit stick by a girl. How you feel about that? But no, I mean it's great, and it's great that you guys are doing this, obviously. But you know.
Yeah.
Kind of to wrap it up, do you have anything that you want to say to like the team or the families or any?
Or how do you feel about tomorrow's game?
And anybody that's interested in joining?
So as far as tomorrow for the game, I'm excited. Like I'm a little upset. Like all this fire and stuff's going on. Like it's kind of like it got us on the edge. Like are we gonna play? Are we not gonna play? And also it's our first game. Like we're ready to play. Like we haven't been practicing as much as probably some of these other teams, but with our athleticism and the knowledge of the game where we have, like, I'm not too worried, and I have kind of been low-key scouting. So we've seen teams play, we've seen some of the good teams, like, and I honestly, like I tell the ladies, I'm not worried, I'm not scared. Like I feel like we're right where we need to be. Of course, we can get a little better with more practice, but that happened. We'll play the game. I think they're ready for some action. Like I just really think they're tired of kind of going against each other. Like we're real competitive against each other too, but there's nothing like going against somebody else and feeling somebody else. You know, it gets a little chippy out there. It may be a little noise talking from here and there, but it won't be us. That's football. And I mean, as far as people, just come out and support us. Like it's go time. Like we're trying to make people around this area feel the pack. That's what I'm trying to tell the girls. Like, yes, it's gonna be our first game of the season, but we're gonna play like this is our 10th game of the season. Like we're gonna come out and give everything we got. And yeah, hopefully just people come out and support us and just be on board with it.
When's the first home game?
First home game is Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday.
Yes. So make sure to
6:30.
Go to the game, 6:30. Show out, support. It's not gonna be 105 degrees.
It's gonna be like the 80s.
It's gonna be a very nice game temperature.
Yes.
But unless there's anything you guys want to add to it, you know, how you guys just feel.
I feel like, what Coach G said. I feel really confident. I'm not really nervous. I know the girls we have on the team, and I know the skills that we have. So I'm not nervous at all. It's just another game to me. I feel like we've been already playing 10 other games. So I feel very confident in what we can do. I feel like even if it's not the game we're expecting, I feel like we'll learn a lot from it. So
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on to the show.
I know, I'm ready to interview you. It was really nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. This is nice. I'm glad I was able to come and do it. Because, I mean, I've been so busy in the daytime with my other job. Like, I'm actually trying to get on campus full time.
Yeah.
So I was just like, when he texted me about it, when Frank texted me, I was like, I want to do it. All right, it makes my schedule fits this. So
we're always open. If you guys want to come back after the season, just let us know.
Text Frank, text us.
Yeah.
And I'm always open. Like anytime you guys want to like do a segment, if I got time, I would do it. Like I'm all on board with this.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate
on
it.
the varsity games, Coach, and best of luck on the games tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you so
as
much.
well,
Yes,
Scarlett.
I know, Miss Quarterback. Yes.
Hopeful.
And there's a couple stories out there.
There are.
I can't even really call one out because there's a couple of them out there.
There's
like,
a lot of
there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for tuning in to the show, and again, thank you so much, our special guest, for coming in and stopping by. We appreciate your time.
Yeah. And our next episode will be in 2 weeks, so make sure to stay tuned to that.
Yep, and make sure we always come live on Friday for the varsity game, so make sure to tune into those
and
as well.
Yes, sorry. And we have a game 7 p.m. this Friday against Kaiser High School, so make sure to stay tuned to that.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, that's all we have for you guys today. We hope you have a great rest of your day, Pack. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye.